Welcome to the Phoenix Newsroom. I am Vanessa Seki presenting on this edition. And the top stories we are following. Tubman University Administration to review faculty and staff housing privilege. NIR bus to appear before the House for issuing free national ID cards in Maryland County. Labor Commissioner says vacation job application opened for this year. And on the international scene, nearly 50 Ivorian soldiers arrested in Mali by junta. For the details of these and more, stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome. First, the news summary by Rushford Gardner.
Thank you, Vanessa, and welcome to our beautiful listeners. The administration of Tubman University is reviewing free housing for employees residing on campus. The new measure will also affect others residing in rented facilities outside of Tubman University. Speaking in a meeting on Tuesday, Vice President for Administration, Professor Dr. S. Benson Ba, said he has been instructed by Acting President, Professor Dr. Emmanuel Ray, to set up two committees, an ad hoc and standing, which will serve to find a reasonable levy and manage said levies respectively. The review is expected to come into effect as of September 2022. In a related development, the Tubman University Department of Security and Public Safety arrested at least 7 people for loitering and illegal use of internet facility on the main campus. Security Coordinator Randy George told Phoenix FM that several gadgets were seized in the ongoing crackdown operation. Maryland County Education Officer Tenensio Blodian says 85 volunteer teachers have been placed on the GOL payroll during the outgoing academic semester. Blodian, who spoke recently on Phoenix FM, said a total of 112 slots were allotted to Maryland County for the incorporation of volunteer teachers by the Ministry of Education. He said the school year ended successfully, adding that moves are being made by his office to ensure that remaining slots are filled with more volunteers before the resumption of the next grade school academic year. The head of the National Identification Registry, Tia Nangbe, has been summoned for questioning by plenary of the Liberian House of Representatives for allegedly issuing national ID cards to residents of Maryland County free of charge. The summons was initiated by Maryland County District 3 Representative Isaac Little Rowland in a letter to plenary. Representative Rowland accused Mr. Nangbe of allegedly using state resources to pre-campaign as he, Nangbe, has declared his intention to stand for a legislative seat in the next general and presidential elections in 2023. Nangbe is meanwhile set to appear before plenary after the July 26 break. Maryland County Labor Commissioner Kojo Wilson says application for vacation jobs is now opened for junior and senior high school students. Mr. Wilson, who spoke on Phoenix FM's late evening show last Friday, said the opportunity is open only to government schools and applicants must be 18 years or over. In this international story, Mali's military government has arrested 49 Ivorian soldiers who provide support to a contingent of UN mission, calling them mercenaries. The 49 Ivorian soldiers were arrested upon arrival at Bamako's International Airport Sunday evening. A government spokesperson, Abdoulaye Maigai, said in an official statement the transitional government considers them mercenaries as defined by the African Union Convention on the Elimination of Mercenarism in Africa. Maigai said the soldiers were working for Sahelian Aviation Service, a company contracted by Mali's UN mission. He asked during the address that the company leaves Malian territory immediately, but unconfirmed reports from pro-government media speak of an aborted coup attempt in Mali. It's back to you, Vanessa.
Thank you for the summary. Now the news in detail. The administration of Tubman University is to shortly review free housing for employees residing on campus. The new measure will also affect others residing in rented facilities outside of campus. Speaking on Tuesday, Vice President for Administration, Professor Dr. S. Benson Barr, said he has been instructed by Acting President Professor Dr. Emmanuel Rare to set up two committees, an ad hoc and a standing, which will serve to find a reasonable levy and manage said levies, respectively. The review is expected to come into effect as of September 2022. The Ad Hoc Housing Levy Committee is headed by Stevenson Doe with other members Mozetta Kane, Kedia Dagba, Victoria Jiba, Ben Collins, Victor Morris, and Alexander Gayu, while members of the Standing Housing Levy Management Committee include Ephraim Wilson, Jackson Tamba, George Yansesinian, Nelson Raw, Jorenso Unanti, and Peter Dozen, with one recusal from Dr. Maria Guetta, who will be replaced subsequently.
During the 2022 commencement convocation, I was informed that the President made a pronouncement that as of September 2022, there will be no free housing accommodation on campus for any employees, and then people will pay. Those who will live on campus will pay. I was also informed that housing allowance for employees living off campus will also be abolished.
That was Dr. S. Benson Barr, Vice President for Administration. In a related development, Tubman University's Department of Security and Public Safety arrested at least 7 people for loitering and illegal use of internet facility on the main campus. Security Coordinator Randy George told Phoenix FM that several gadgets were seized in the ongoing crackdown.
We are cracking down on intruder or illegal people who are coming on campus or in the name of browsing and charging the phone, for which pose a serious security threat for us. So we're trying to correct that by stopping them from coming on campus illegally. So anyone who wants to come on campus, you must inform the security whatsoever thing you want to do on campus. Just coming on campus by yourself, loitering on campus, you will be charged for intruding on our property. There was a lot of arrests made over the weekend, and we seized their gadgets. And later on, we intended taking them to the police station. And I think our campaign will serve as a deterrent. It will send a strong message out there to the general public to stay away from the campuses when you have nothing to do on the campus.
That was TU Security Coordinator Randy George, and earlier you heard Vice President for Administration Professor Dr. S. Benson Barr. Maryland County Labor Commissioner Kojo Wilson says application for vacation jobs is now opened for junior and senior high school students. Kojo Wilson, who spoke on Phoenix FM late evening show last Friday, said the opportunity is opened only to government schools and applicants must be 18 years or over. Mr. Wilson highlighted the need to provide self-help for students, especially in government institutions whose parents face impossible financial difficulties in keeping them in school. He said the vacation school program resumed after he took over as Maryland County Labor Boss in 2018. Kojo Wilson reminisced the past glory days when companies and other businesses opened up vacancies during the long school vacation for students. He, however, frowned on big concession companies like CRC, MOPP, and Golden Safeguard for their lack of support to the vacation job project, adding that he gets support only from goodwill gestures from friends and some business owners.
Those are already up. My office is filled every day.
What's the age range?
From 18 and above. Only government schools. Only government schools, junior high and senior high school. Not private schools. Right? And my sponsors are normally engaged. Are friends. Business community. So when I started the pilot project, it worked. 2020, I had about 225 students I was paying them 5,000 for part-time. You work 2 hours a day, I pay 5,000. 2021, I raised it to 10,000 Liberian dollar. You work 2 hours 30 minutes a day for 3 weeks. At the end of the day, I gave you your 10,000. Since I started, I am not getting any support from the company. CRC, MOPT.
How do you raise the funds?
I raised it from Google Friends.
That was Maryland County Labor Commissioner Kojo Wilson. Tennessee Blodoyan County Education Officer says 85 volunteer teachers have been added to government payroll during the outgoing academic year. Blodoyan, who spoke recently on Phoenix FM, said a total of 112 slots were allotted to Maryland County for the incorporation of volunteer teachers by the Ministry of Education. He said the school year ended successfully, adding that moves are being made by his office to ensure that the remaining slots are filled with more volunteers before the resumption of the next grade school academic year. The CEO, however, cited several issues hampering the incorporation of volunteer teachers, including submission of fake documents by some teachers and the reluctance of many others to take up assignment at remote locations.
One of the major issues we have had in the past is the issue of volunteers. Yes. And because of our new innovation, we were able to calm down the situation. So successfully, the whole school year ended. Yes. And I can assure you that moving forward, there will be a lot of volunteers who will be placed on payroll. We were given a slot of 112 teachers. And out of 112, 85, I can assure, have been placed on payroll. I just got information that they are working on the rest of the names.
That was Tennessee Blodoyan, County Education Officer of Maryland, speaking on our Night Talk program. The head of the National Identification Registry, J.T. Nangbe, has been called for questioning for allegedly issuing national ID cards to residents of Maryland County free of charge. In a communication to the plenary, Representative Isaac Roland Blelu of Maryland District 3 alleged that the executive director of the NIRO was issuing the national ID card free of charge, but at the same time advocating for increased budgetary allocation for the registry from the House of Representatives. Representative Roland Blelu also told the plenary that the NIRO bus action comes at the same time he has declared his desire to contest for a legislative seat in Maryland County. The Maryland District 3 lawmaker said the NIRO bus action will not only deny the government of Liberia thousands of United States dollars in revenue, but also has the propensity to hinder the NIRO's mandate, as well as cause the national identification cards to end up in the hands of non-Liberians. Meanwhile, Representative Roland's request was granted and Mr. Nangbe will appear before the House right after the Independence Day break. We shall give you more on the story as details emerge. That's it for today's edition of News from the Phoenix Newsroom. Finally, a recap of the headlines. Tupma University Administration to review faculty and staff housing privilege. NIRO bus to appear before the House for issuing free national ID cards in Maryland County. Labor Commissioner says vacation job application opened for this year. And on the international scene, nearly 50 Ivorian soldiers arrested in Mali by junta. Thanks to Rashford Gardner, who packaged, edited, and started controls. I am Vanessa Seki. Thanks for listening, but stay tuned for the news in French is next.
Mesdames et messieurs, bonsoir. Bienvenue dans le journal de 16 heures de la Radio Phoenix. Je m'appelle Jean-Claude. L'administration de M. William Todman examine la gratuité des logements pour les employés résidents sur le campus. La nouvelle mesure touchera également d'autres personnes résidant dans les établissements loués. C'est seulement lors d'une réunion mardi, le vice-président de l'administration, le professeur S.M.Ba, a déclaré qu'il avait été chargé par le président, par intérim, le professeur Emmanuel Oulet, de mettre en place 2 comités, des accords permanents qui serviront à trouver un prélèvement raisonnable et à gérer les 10 prélèvements respectivement. L'examen devrait entrer en vigueur en septembre 2022. Dans un développement connexe, le département de la sécurité et la sécurité publique de l'université William Todmand a arrêté au moins 7 personnes pour flânerie et utilisation illégale d'installations d'Internet sur le campus principal. Le coordinateur de la sécurité, René Georges, a déclaré à Phoenix FM que plusieurs objets avaient été saisis dans le cadre de l'opération de répression en cours. Le révérend pasteur, l'inspecteur pédagogique, Tissio Blodoyen, responsable de l'éducation de la région de Mirolène, a déclaré que 85 enseignants bénévoles avaient été placés sur la liste du paye du gouvernement libérien au cours de l'année scolaire sortante. L'inspecteur pédagogique a récemment pris la parole sur la radio FM, a déclaré qu'un total de 112 créneaux avait été attribué à la région de Mirolène pour la bonne coopération d'enseignants bénévoles par le ministère de l'Éducation. Il a déclaré que l'année scolaire s'est terminée avec succès, ajoutant que les mesures étaient prises par son bureau pour assurer que les créneaux restants soient remplis plus de bénévoles avant la reprise de la prochaine année scolaire. Le chef du registre national d'identification, Tienangbe, a été convoqué à l'interrogatoire par la Chambre des représentants libériens pour avoir présentement délivré gratuitement des cartes d'identité nationale aux résidents de la région de Mirolène. La convocation a été initiée par le représentant du district 3 de la région de Mirolène, son honorable Isaac Oblelou Roland, dans une lettre de la plénière. Le représentant Roland accuse Tienangbe d'avoir prétendument utiliser les ressources de l'État pour faire campagne avec avant la campagne réelle, car il a déclaré son intention de se présenter à un siège législatif lors des prochaines élections générales et présidentielles en 2023. Pendant ce temps, Nangbe doit comparaître devant l'Assemblée nationale après la pause de la Chambre 26. Le commissaire du travail de la région de Mirolène, Kojo Wissem, a déclaré que les demandes d'emploi de vacances sont maintenant ouvertes pour les élèves du premier cycle et du deuxième cycle du secondaire. M. Wissem, qui a pris la parole lors de l'émission de fin de la soirée à la radio Phoenix vendredi dernier, a déclaré que la possibilité est ouverte qu'aux élèves publics et que les candidats doivent avoir au moins 18 ans. Pour finir, sur la scène internationale, le gouvernement militaire malien a arrêté 49 soldats ivoiriens qui apportent leur soutien à un contingent de la mission de l'ONU, les qualifiant de mercenaires. Les 49 soldats ivoiriens ont été arrêtés à leur arrivée à l'aéroport de Bamako dimanche dernier. Le porte-parole du gouvernement Abdoulaye Maïga a déclaré dans un communiqué officiel que le gouvernement de transition considère comme des mercenaires tels que définir la Convention de l'ONU africaine sur l'élimination du mercenariat en Afrique. Maïga a déclaré que les soldats travaillent pour la Saharienne Aviation Service, une société engagée par la mission de l'ONU au Mali. Il a demandé lors de l'allocation que l'entreprise quitte immédiatement le territoire malien, mais des informations non confirmées de médias pro-gouvernement parlent d'une tentative de coup d'État avorté. Voilà comment s'achève le journal de la radio Phoenix. Merci de l'avoir suivi. Au revoir. Je m'appelle Jean-Claude.